People who use an augmented voice to hide a speech impediment, and gentlemen. This is a response to loser mccainisthroughx and her video, her cut and paste video on Rush Limbaugh, the Rush Limbaugh Sandra Fluke fiasco, where Rush appropriately called her a slut and then apologized for it. There's even a lot of them on the right who thought Rush should apologize for it. I'm going to debunk several things here. One, the myth that birth control is inaccessible and expensive, which it's not, only if you're an idiot that doesn't shop around. It is easy to obtain. It is rather inexpensive. Number two, if you can't afford it, let's say you couldn't afford birth control, then you have a duty to yourself and society, because the Constitution doesn't sanction taking money from me and giving it to you. So sex is not a right. So if you can't afford it and you decide to have sex, well, that's something, it's called personal responsibility. I know most of the neo-Marxist left doesn't understand that, and they expect someone to pay for their stuff. But that's the way it is. It's called personal responsibility. Like, I believe drugs should be legalized, but I don't think you should have the treatment paid for. If you use them freely in a free society and you damage yourself because of it, it's not my fault. It's called personal responsibility. If you think people like Sandra Fluke shouldn't be reproducing, I agree with you. I mean, if you're brain damaged to the point where you can't think logically at all, then I think it would be good that you didn't have any children. I think there's a lot of people who shouldn't be reproducing. Now, I wouldn't do that by force, obviously. You have the right to have as many children as you want, but you have a duty to yourself, and the fact that you should not get taxpayer subsidies. Do not have any more kids than you can support, and many people do not do that. So if the question is, should people like this not be reproducing, I agree. She should not reproduce. If she's this irresponsible and this stupid, then yes, she shouldn't reproduce. There's also a lot of hypocrisy involved in this issue here. And it's not about contraception, per se. The entire issue is not about contraception. It is about liberty. I think Roger Pylon said it best when he said, this is not about contraception, it's about liberty. So let's get down to brass tacks here. First, we're going to go over several comments made by liberal neo-Marxist Democrats over the years, showing the hypocrisy on this. And McCain is through. It's hard to keep up. mccainisthroughx. It's hard to keep up with the pretend physician, because she has a lot of free time. She's one of these people that has the 20 hours of free time every day. So it's hard to keep up with her. And every time there's breaking news, she's right by the computer to upload something. And she's even gone away from the distorted voice now. I don't see much of the distorted voice. She can't put stuff in her own words, so she has to cut and paste. Otherwise, I would respond to these quicker, but I don't have the free time that she has. And in addition, when she throws stuff up so quickly, usually there's stuff she should wait for the dust to settle, and she's kind of painted herself into a corner again. Let's get down to brass tacks. Let's begin with some comments by Al Sharpton. Now, are you going to throw Al Sharpton under the bus, McStupid, because of this? Here's some things he said over the years. He said, quote, David Dinkins, you want to be the only N, and that's a slang word for black person. You want to be the only N on television, only N in the newspaper, only N that can talk. Don't cover them, don't talk to them, because you got the only N problem. Because you know if a black man stood up next to you, they would see you for the whore you really are. Al Sharpton's just, this is kind of... You remember the Tawana Brawley fiasco, too? You going to throw him under the bus, McStupid? Here's another quote by Al Sharpton. White folks was in the cave when we were building empires. We learned to admire them, but they knew to admire us. We built pyramids without a truck, and we knew what architecture was. We taught philosophy and astrology and mathematics before Socrates and them Greek homos ever got around to it. Sharpton's also been known to use the word cracker a lot and redneck, but that's okay because only blacks can be, or only whites can be racist. Years and years ago on the Morton Downey Jr. show, Sharpton, and this is a record. This is available as well. He called someone a punk F. Ends with the word T. It's a slang term for homosexual. A punk blank during the Morton Downey Jr. show. So, McStupid, you gonna throw Al Sharpton under the bus? Because you know if Rush called David Axelrod a punk F, you would put up about 6 videos about it. So there you go. There's some hypocrisy. We're not done yet. That's Al Sharpton. Let's move on to Bill Maher. And, Bill, I'm not going to go over all the things he said because I'd be here pretty much all day. First, I don't buy a lot of Democrats will try this tactic. I don't buy Chuck Schumer did. Now, Chuck threw Bill Maher under the bus saying he has little influence, which he doesn't have a lot of influence. He's saying Rush can be criticized for this because Rush has, I don't know how many more millions and millions of listeners than Bill does, even on his best week. So I don't buy the whole, Bill's a comedian and he doesn't have much influence, so it's okay. No, that doesn't make it okay. So that tactic will not work. What also won't work, and I'll go over this later, Sandra Fluke, supposedly just a mild-mannered woman minding her own business. Well, why is she more important than the other 300-plus million regular people in the U.S.? Why does she get FaceTime in front of Congress and get to go on The View and all this? Why she is an activist, which I'll go over later. So I won't accept that either. Bill called Sarah Palin a dumb and then a T word, a slang term for vagina. He called her another slang term for vagina. Starts with a C. He made a joke about Rick Santorum's wife using a vibrator. Now, what if Rush had made a joke about Michelle Hussein Obama using a vibrator? Well, of course, that wouldn't have gone over very well. He made a joke about Newt Gingrich and Rick Santorum having sex. What if Rush had made a joke about Hussein Obama and John Edwards having sex? Well, John Edwards was busy having sex with women he wasn't married to while his wife was dying anyway, so that probably wouldn't have happened. So Bill's made several comments that are much worse than Rush's, yet are you going to throw Bill Maher under the bus now, McStupid? Alabama Democrats, or what if Alabama Republicans? What if the Alabama Republican Party sponsored an evening with Rush Limbaugh? What would you do, McStupid? Well, the Alabama Democrats were advertising an evening with Bill Maher, March supposedly to have occurred, I don't know if it even happened, but there's screenshots of it, March 17th, 2012, and after this got out, they actually pulled it down, but somebody saved some screenshots of it. Of course, they still had the link to it, aldemocrats.org/Bill Maher, redirected to their homepage instead of to the image or to a page selling tickets to his show. So they ran from Bill Maher after it became known that they were scheduling a little evening with Bill Maher, and people were pointing out, well, what about the things Bill said in the past? So, you going to throw him under the bus too, McStupid? Bill Maher, you're now throwing him under the bus. Oh, Alan Grayson. You remember when he called one of Ben Bernanke's aides, a female aide, called her a K Street whore? He's running for Congress again. He's trying to get in Congress again. Are you going to support his opponent? McStupid, pardon my phone ringing. You're going to support his opponent, McStupid, and because he called one of Bernanke's aides a K Street whore? We'll see what you do. I should also mention Bill has made comments about the Palin children that were very inappropriate as well. I'm not even going to mention those. All the links are underneath the video. You can check those out. He's made comments about minor children, Palin children, that were very inappropriate. So you'll have to defend that too, McStupid. Good luck with it. I apologize for the error. It wasn't Bill Maher that made those comments. It was David Letterman, which just recently, Michelle Hussein Obama appeared on the David Letterman show. And it was David Letterman that joked about Sarah Palin's 14-year-old daughter getting knocked up by Alex Rodriguez, and he compared the former governor to a slutty flight attendant. Now, what if Rush did that, and then let's say Michelle Bachmann decided to call his show and be a on the phone with him for an hour. What would the neo-Marxist Democrats do with that? So we have a double standard there. I guess it's okay for Michelle Hussein Obama to go on David Letterman's show when he made a very inappropriate joke about a minor child and called Sarah Palin a slutty flight attendant. So I guess that's okay. What if Rush called Jan Schakowsky, Congresswoman Schakowsky, a slutty flight attendant? Which brings me to my next point. A YouTube user by the name of Frank Strategies went and found Representative Sheila Jackson Lee and Representative Schakowsky and asked them to condemn Bill Maher for his comments about Sarah Palin. He asked both of them on camera, considering especially now that Bill Maher donated $1 million to Hussein Obama's, one of his Hussein Obama super PACs, which is okay. In fact, I think he should be able to donate $1 million right to Hussein's re-election campaign, but campaign finance laws don't allow that, so obviously we're going to have more of these super PACs, but that's subjects for another day. But he asked Schakowsky and Sheila Jackson Lee to condemn Bill Maher and ask Hussein Obama's super PAC to give that money back, considering what Bill Maher said about Palin, because they made it clear that they're angry at Rush for his comments about the activist Sandra Fluke. And they got awful quiet. In fact, they avoided him and ran away. So what's the deal? I guess it's okay. It's okay if Bill Maher makes those statements, but Rush can't. I do believe we have a double standard. DNC dunce Debbie Wasserman-Schultz was also quick to condemn Limbaugh because Rush is toxic and that's just not the way you treat women. You don't treat women that way. She didn't make a distinction between left-leaning neo-Marxist women like Sandra Fluke, neocons like Sarah Palin, or libertarian women. She said, basically, you don't do that. That's not funny. That's not nice. Well, less than a year after Bill Maher made those comments about Sarah Palin, she appeared on Bill Maher's HBO show. So I guess it does depend on who's doing the name calling and who's being criticized, who's making the incendiary comments. David Axelrod realizes Bill Maher is toxic and was going to appear on his show, and now that's been canceled. So David Axelrod knows that he is toxic. They're hoping this goes away, so maybe we can keep it going. mccainisthroughx will help us keep it going and help us keep talking about the hypocrisy. The vacuous Bill Maher recently said in the New York Times, "Let's have an amnesty from the left and right on every made-up, fake, totally insincere, play-acted hurt, insult, slight, and affront. Let's make this Sunday the National Day of No Outrage. One day a year when you will not find some tiny thing someone did or said and pretend you can barely continue functioning until they apologize. If that doesn't work, what to do about this? If you see or hear something you don't like in the media, just go on with your life. Turn the page or flip the dial or pick up your roll of quarters and leave the booth. The answer to whenever another human being annoys you is not to make them go away forever. We need to learn to coexist, and it's actually a pretty easy thing to do. For example, I find Rush Limbaugh obnoxious, but I've been able to coexist comfortably with him for 20 years by using this simple method. I never listen to his program. The only time I hear him is when I'm at a stoplight next to a pickup truck." End quote. Actually, Bill undermines himself there because he's criticized Rush a lot of times, and admitting that you don't listen to his program means you don't really know. You're getting your info about him from secondhand sources. For example, I watch the pretend physician mccainisthroughx's videos a lot to know what she's saying. And if you'll check my mccainisthroughx playlist, I've refuted her and her friends many times. I've made a living out of it, actually, kind of. But, and that's why McStupid is so offended at this. She wants to use this to distract from the issues because I've refuted her on so many things so many times. She does not want to discuss issues. That's why she's all worried about this. But yet she wasn't doing video after video when John Edwards was cheating on his wife while she was dying. That's because McStupid can't discuss the issues. But Bill is right. If you find something you're offended at, refute it. Refute the person on the issues, or just shut it off. That's actually some pretty good advice. But McStupid won't take that advice because she wants to use this to distract from the issues. And, of course, she's ignored all this hypocrisy because she gets all her information off of Google searches. Our next piece of business will be refuting McStupid's. She's got some cut and paste info. She cuts and pastes a video off the internet about Rush Limbaugh losing all these advertisers, and I'll let the screenshots of what he said recently about it go by there. But basically all these sponsors they've supposedly lost, that's not the truth. Many of them are local. It's a sponsor for, say, a local affiliate, and they'll say, you can continue running our advertisements, just don't run them during the Rush Limbaugh show. And this happens all the time. I mean, various people say, you know, we'll advertise on your station, but don't do it during Howard Stern or Sean Hannity or whoever, Ed Schultz or whatever. And that's the deal with this. He hasn't lost a ton of national sponsors, and his program is not going away. I'll also say this: he does not speak for the Republican Party. McStupid, that's another thing she tries. This non-doctor, tries to make Rush Limbaugh the face of the Republican Party. So if he says something that's incendiary, calling Sandra Fluke a slut, well, that's in. We can throw all Republicans under the bus. No, Rush is a neocon. He does not speak for the entire Republican Party. So that's about all that needs to be said about that. He's not losing a whole bunch of sponsors. It's not happening. His radio show is not going away, McStupid. Sorry. Oh, and Sleep Train, which you mentioned in your cut and paste video that you cut and pasted off the internet. Sleep Train tried to come back to Rush, but he told them no thanks. Ooh, that had to hurt. I apologize for bouncing around a little bit like this, but Carbonite was also another one that was angry at Rush Limbaugh. Just offended that he would make these comments. They advertised during Ed Schultz's show, and Ed Schultz called Laura Ingraham a talk slut. And he apologized for it, and Laura Ingraham accepted. Of course, The View, when this happened, The View, Barbara Walters, looks like she just escaped from Shady Oaks. It wasn't a big deal. But this is a big deal. Barbara Walters was offended when Rush did this, but when Ed Schultz called Laura Ingraham a talk slut, that wasn't a big deal. And Carbonite, of course, didn't drop Ed Schultz immediately. Capital One is offended at Rush, too. He shouldn't be doing it. We're deeply offended that he would make an incendiary comment like that again. But Alec Baldwin, who you remember when he said, kill Henry Hyde, various comments he's made over the years. Alec Baldwin is pretty toxic. Yet Capital One didn't dump him immediately when he's done some of the things he did. Double standard, yes. And of course, McStupid, you're looking dumb again because that's all you do is cut and paste off the internet. But I urge you to keep doing it because you will keep giving me plenty of material to hammer you with. Mike Malloy's another one. He said recently he was glad Andrew Breitbart is dead. So if Michelle Hussein Obama died tomorrow and Rush Limbaugh got on his show and said, I'm glad she's one of the Obama children died and Rush said that? Oh, it's okay because Andrew was a politically charged person. No, it's not okay. If a Democrat politician died, Representative Payne, he recently died, what if Rush said, oh, I'm glad he's dead? Would that be okay? Oh, it'd be okay because he was a Democrat and he was a partisan. He was a partisan hack, and which is why I suppose many neo-Marxists wouldn't be offended when Mike Malloy said he's glad Breitbart's dead. It's free speech, guys. You neo-Marxists on the left who are just getting your panties in a wad over Rush Limbaugh, you guys need to grow up and quit being so hypersensitive. You're more hypersensitive than the Islamic extremist crowd. Our last piece of business, I'll make this really quick, Sandra Fluke and her, woe is me, I can't afford their contraception. Now, I don't know, she must not shop around, or she's making it up, or she's just so obviously vacuous and stupid. I mean, when you go shopping, do you just grab the first thing off the shelf? Do you not compare prices? Planned Parenthood, you can get the implant for relatively cheap. It'll last 3 years. Use that in concert with spermicidal condoms, you jackass, and you probably won't get pregnant. I don't know if you're stupid or what, or you're an activist, or it's a mix of both. And she is an activist. She thinks, again, it's my responsibility to pay for her birth control, which it's not, and sex is not a right. You can have consensual sex with any adult you want, Sandra, or anyone else listening to this. You can go down to the bar and bend over and grab your ankles for every guy at the bar. You can have sex with 10 men every night, all consensual. I don't care. You have the right to do that, but you do not have the right to reach into my wallet and pay for your birth control to do that if you can't afford it. And it's not that expensive. So I don't know what the deal here is with her. I'd say it's more of an activist thing, but she's actually making herself look like a complete jackass. She thinks if you're some pervert kook who thinks you're a woman trapped in a man's body and you want to get gender reassignment, that's a politically correct term, you want a sex change, she thinks that should be paid for. Are you kidding me? So, like Roger Pilon said, I think he summed it up in a few sentences, this is not about contraception, it's about liberty. And contraception is not that expensive. You can get it pretty cheap at Walmart or Target or Planned Parenthood. You can order spermicidal condoms, use that with the implant-on implants, and you probably won't get pregnant. Probably won't. So that about does it. Thank you, McStupid, mccainisthroughx, for putting up another short cut and paste video. And I find it kind of disappointing. You've gone away from the distorted, augmented voice, and now you're just going to complete cut and pasting off the internet. So, what's the deal, little feller? And thank you for putting up that video and allowing me to humiliate you again. More will come in the coming weeks, but like I said, it'll be a while because I don't have the free time she has. So Sandra Fluke has been, her and her ilk have been totally debunked. There's mass hypocrisy on the left. They only get angry in certain situations. It's free speech, guys. Quit being hypersensitive and have a nice day.